What up, party people? It's been a whole almost month since we last got to chit chat about our wonderful life that we've been enjoying. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, so I'll be seeing most of you, hopefully, fingers crossed, when I come to America in 2 days. I'm very excited. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I'm not counting down time. Like, I don't want time to just zoom by or anything, but, like, if it wanted to move a little bit faster today and tomorrow, I wouldn't complain. But let's dive into what our November has looked like. So, last you heard, I went to Mass's wedding in Georgia, and then we kept our friend's dog Oso. He's an angel face. If you don't remember that, then if I forgot to mention the dog part, amazing. We kept our friend's dog. I love him. He's like this little floofer. But then Robert ended up having to go to Dubai for a work thing. So I had the ladies over, the girls, and we had a spaghetti dinner, made it from scratch, obviously. So it was just the four of us because two of our other girlfriends were missing. They had things to do. So it was just four. And we made spaghetti and we hung out. I made gluten-free dessert, so they got to taste that for the first time. Sorry, Robert came in. So, where was I? We ate dessert, we hung out, we just chit-chatted. They stayed for a while. It was really nice. Something exploded in the compound, a grill. Someone, I guess, must have poured like gas or something on it, but it literally like erupted and it was wild. And we heard it and we were like, what was that? And then this girl like ran by because she'd been burned. It was crazy. But anywho, we went with the ladies, and then Robert came back. And then, so I've been doing, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but like 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, pretty much anytime I'm free, but we have scheduled times where I meet with a bunch of other writers. We're a great group of humans, mostly women, all but like one. And we vibe hardcore. So sometimes we're just talking, and then we have to remind ourselves that we're holding each other accountable to write, not to chit chat. I even have on my wall clocks for Eastern Standard Time and Central European Time because most of them, except for Robin, who's in Dubai, which is an hour ahead of me, are in Central Eastern Time, which means they're 2 hours behind me. So it was getting confusing with daylight savings time. So I was like, okay, I just need clocks. So I'm like the bank or like Wall Street or something. I can tell you exactly what time it is for my parents based on the clock on the wall. So you'll see some pictures of them. We Zoom and or Google Meet. I love them all so very much. They're so encouraging, and they hype you up and they give you ideas and you can bounce things off of them. 10 out of 10. Love them all. And they're very supportive. It's very nice to have a group that like we're all kind of in the same boat, but not really. Like one of the girls writing fiction, like fantasy. Another one, most of them are writing fiction. One's writing essays. One's writing like young adult mystery kind of. It's great. So we're all like at different stages of our writing and book career. Like Ildi's being like proper published, like with a publisher on March 27th is her launch party. I have it on my wall. But it's been really amazing to just be able to hop on and be like, oh, it's been a terrible day. Like I can barely write anything. Or like, oh my gosh, you guys, I wrote like a whole book yesterday. And, it's really nice. And you get to, hear other cool stories from amazing people. So you'll see some screenshots I took of our time together. It's amazing. And then on the weekends, we've been hanging out with friends. We did not end up going to Azerbaijan, obviously, which is fine. I was tired. I am tired. So we went to brunch. So you'll see a picture of us eating brunch. Two of our friends, Abir and Sarah, the sisters, they ran a 10K with their dad in the desert. And so the day before, Abir really wanted a pizza party. So we went to get pizza. They had gluten-free pasta, which was great. And I had a salad. I'm learning to eat salads, which is just wild. Robert again. Ugh. So we went to get pizza. Then we went on a walk in the DQ, which was lovely. They're doing a lot more parks now. Like they really wanted to be a bit more park heavy. So we went to a couple different parks. And they have a Joe and the Juice now. In the US, I don't think it's become a thing yet, but it's sensational. Like how Panera kind of swept across the US, or like Tropical Smoothie. So Joe and the Juice is a coffee place. Started, I don't know, like Sweden, Finland, Norway, somewhere up there. And it's Scandinavia. And it's got coffee and I drink a power shake. It's like a milkshake, but it's got vanilla milk in it. And they have like good tuna sandwiches, but they've got it's like a little cafe. It's delicious, okay? We go and get power shakes every time we run in the DQ. Robert gets the acai shake. It's got peanut butter in it. Amazing. 10 out of 10. And their coffee's good too. It was in Dubai, and so Mass and I would always go if we were like mall walking or whatever. We would go get a Joe and the Juice, obviously. And now that they have one here, I'm like texting her every other day, being like, "Oh my God, I got another jar of the juice." They have 2 of them here in Saudi, so in Riyadh. Big deal, big deal. What else? Okay, so we went to brunch, and then Robert and I drove into the desert for our friend's race, and we made signs. So once I go Sarah, once I go Abir, and then their dad was running, and I felt bad that I didn't make him a sign. So on the back of, I think, Sarah's, it says like, "Go Dad," because I don't know what his name was. So we were looking, Abir sent me a picture of like their bib number so I could look out for their bibs, because I don't know what their dad looks like, but I wanted to cheer for him. So his is like 1007 or something. So anytime we saw like a man in a white hat, I'd be like, "What's his number? What's his number?" And then when he did finally run by, I like flipped the sign. I was like, "This is for you! This is for you!" And she had said, "Oh yeah, my white friends are going to be here with signs." And so when he saw us, and I was like, he was like, freaking out. It was really funny. Anywho, we had a great time. So we cheered for them, and then we went home because we had to be there. They did the 10K, but the marathon, maybe? The marathon started at 4:30 in the morning. They had to be there at 6:45 or something. We got there at like 8, maybe 7:45, 8, just to like be prepared, because I don't think their race started till 7. I don't remember exact, but I was tired. It was an hour away, so long journey. And then we've been running. I'm up to 5 kilometers, which is really exciting. Robert is handling the car, which is great, but he's filling out a form online. So the first time he left, it was because the form needed like this certain paperwork. So he went downstairs to get it, and he came back up, and then he started typing it in, and then it needed the mileage on the car. So then he had to go back down to get mileage, and just now it needed some other something. I'm like, why don't you just do the form downstairs at the car? But there's no service, so what can you do? Anyway, we've both been running. Robert we're like kind of neck and neck. Obviously, it takes me like 30 minutes, and it takes him like 12. But we've never really been, usually one of us is like at 6 miles, and the other one is at whatever. So for us to be at like 3 miles and then like kind of 4 miles for him, he's a little ahead of me, is pretty unique experience. We've been going to the DQ. Now that we know that our friend Abir runs, and Sarah, but she doesn't run with us, Abir will like join us on some of our runs. Sorry, my like lips feel crusty, which is gross. So she like joined us. We did the turkey trot yesterday. No, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. So we've been running, and it feels really great. It feels nice to be able to be running again. I'm excited to run in America with fresher air. Anywho, I also need new tennis shoes, but they're out of my model, so like I'm probably gonna freak out. As I was saying, our compound has a cold plunge, and apparently it's good for your circulation and blah 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 blah. So Robert does it, and I'm like, there's no way you're convincing me to do this. So he does it like all the time, and then when he wasn't here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try just once. Like I'm just gonna try. Terrible, definitely hurt. I made it like 5 breaths. Now, oh no, I've been doing so well. Now I can do up to 10 breaths. I don't say seconds because I mean I breathe like that. So like maybe 10 seconds, maybe a little less. It's cold and it hurts. When you get out, it hurts. I'm in pain. It's so cold. But anyway, the traffic's getting worse in the city somehow. Just for a fun fact, so that you know. My dad gets plagued with texts of like, guess how many lanes of traffic there are? And I'll send him a picture and he's like, 4? I'm like, wrong. It's 8, but it's a 3-lane highway. Like I'm like, somehow I'm in the middle and I can see the lines that I'm like on top of that I shouldn't be. It's a whole thing. But yes, that's what we've been doing. Mom and Dad have been great in Colombia because we moved out of our storage units and into a pod. Don't even get me started on the pod. When we come into town, we'll be putting a bunch of all of our stuff into our house, and if it doesn't fit, then we'll put it somewhere else. I don't know where, but we're gonna put it. It's gonna go somewhere. We haven't figured that part out yet, but we're getting there. Maybe. But yes, everything's kind of been gearing up for me to leave, but also for Thanksgiving. So last Friday, I ended up getting to go to the doctor, which was great because back in Dubai, I had to fly to Dubai, which means I got to see Massa because she did not get to come for Thanksgiving because Saudi sucks and wouldn't let her in. And that sucks. But I did get to see her for like 2.5 hours in Dubai when I went for my doctor's appointments, got an MRI, which was better than the other MRI because when I got an MRI on my wrist, I had to pee so bad I cried. Was kind of dry heaving in the machine because I had to pee so bad. This time I just fell asleep. He was like, it's going to take an hour and a half. I'm like, great. And then I woke up 45 minutes later and he was like, yeah, you're done. You can leave now. I'm like, oh, stupendous. So got those done. And I got a lot of blood drawn. They just took it right out of me. And then that was Friday, and then we geared up. Obviously, we did the race thing. But then, boom, it's Thanksgiving. Our friends voted to do Thanksgiving last night, Saturday night. So here we are. We got ready. We didn't have enough chairs or tables, so we had to go buy a table, like a folding table. Our friend Abir brought us chairs because we have 4 chairs and like a round table outside. I have 2 desk chairs and then 2 like chairs for our kitchen table, which you can see like, oh, no, you can't. Where those flowers are, right there. And so she brought like 5 extra chairs. I made really cute place settings, like the table decorations. I don't remember what it's called. And then Abir brought stuff. So Abir came over. We offered to turkey trot with anyone yesterday morning. Only Abir said yes. So Abir came and we turkey trotted, and then obviously we Joed and the juiced. And then we did like a little short walk. And then she came early at like 3. So we told everybody else to show up around 4:30. She came at 3 and started helping me like put out the place settings and like make sure everything was ready. And then we started cooking because Gus brought the mashed potatoes, and then Abir's sister Sarah did the turkey, and people brought like juice and plates and stuff. But then I cooked green bean casserole, mac and cheese, sweet potato casserole, roasted Brussels sprouts, roasted potatoes, corn, and cranberry sauce, and cornbread and rolls. So I had a lot going on in the kitchen. So she was my little assistant. She kept going, "Chef, what do I do now?" So I had her cutting sweet potatoes, and Robert was like, "Be careful, sweet potatoes are really, like, they're really tough." And she's like, I got it. Poor thing. I had like 8 sweet potatoes because I was making a lot. Obviously, we had 13 people at the house. And she cut sweet potatoes for an hour. She's like, "Are you sure we need all of them?" I'm like, "Yes, we need all of them." I did the math. She's like, "Okay." But then I let the sweet potatoes be like her baby. So I was like, "All right, you, like, if you want them, like, you did a great job cutting." So then she was like watching them boil, and then I'd be like, "Hey, it's time to like blend them." So then she's like, blending them up, and I'm like, "All right, we got to sprinkle this in here. We got to put this in." It was great. I'm like, these are her sweet potato casserole. But it was funny because they're like, "Are those carrots?" I'm like, "No." Someone else was like, "It's pumpkin." I'm like, "It's not." And they're like, "Oh, it's potatoes?" I'm like, "It's sweet potatoes." And then they has like marshmallows, and so she was like, "Oh, it's dessert." I'm like, "No, it's a side item. It's a vegetable." She's like, "But potatoes aren't vegetables." I was like, "Oh, but sweet potato casserole is a vegetable." Just like how banana pudding is a vegetable at Lizard Thicket. You just have to say, "Okay, works for me." So, surprisingly, nobody really ate. I mean, it got eaten. There was like a Tupperware left, but I really thought it'd be a bigger hit. The mac and cheese, gone in an instant. And I kind of just made up the recipe. I like Googled to make sure I had all the ingredients I needed. And then, boom, I just kind of threw stuff in. Didn't measure anything else. Measured the cheese with my heart. Measured the Dijon mustard, the paprika, and the garlic and salt and pepper based on smell. Which I feel like, I like literally put my whole face into the pot and was like, yes. And then I did cream cheese and like 4 different types of cheese. It's a little bit of heavy cream. Got a little dash in there. Delicious. Downright delicious. At the very end, Abir was like, "Is it going to have breadcrumbs?" I was like, "Do you want it to have breadcrumbs?" And she was like, "I just really like the breadcrumbed one in America." I was like, "Sure." So then I found some Ritz crackers and blended them up and made a breadcrumb finish. Delicious. 10 out of 10. Well done. Good idea, Abir. And the green bean casserole, which required me to like make soup. I had to make cream of mushroom soup, and I had to make chicken broth soup. Obviously, it was just like the powder, but still annoying. Was a big hit as well. There was like 5 beans left. And the cornbread was gluten-free, which I feel like is a duh, but also delicious. So everybody came over, intermittently, like dispersed. We sat outside. You'll see my place settings. Oh, I did such a good job. So cute. And then Abir had like these lights that she designed that were like conical in shape kind of, and they glowed like fire. And they played music as well. Great. So it was well lit, but still like moody, And then we ate at 6:30. I was like, we are eating at 6:30. Like, if you come late, you will get a plate late. So we ate at 6:30. We had some scragglers come in. Someone else had to leave. But all in all, it was about 13 of us, 12 to 13 at like any given moment. And it was delicious, and we had a good time. We walked around and said what we were thankful for, and then we came in and played games and ate dessert. We had apple pie, which was not good. We threw it away. And then like 2 little cakes because Abir and Yasmin's birthdays are the 2nd and 3rd. So tomorrow and Tuesday. Hello. So while I'm flying. And then we had another like some cake something that they all brought. And then Yasmin made pecan pie. So we had a whole host of desserts and ice cream. And obviously sweet potato casserole, which is not a dessert, it is a vegetable. But all in all, it was a really good time. Robert played the banjo for a little bit, and so some people started dancing. It was a good time. I think everybody really enjoyed themselves. They left at like 11:45, So Robert and I cleaned up as much as we could and then just passed out. I did like a million dishes. Literally every dish we've ever had, I cleaned it today. There's still one soaking because marshmallows don't come out. Marshmallows are cooked into this dish and it's not mine. So because the Beers family had like the things you eat at like a buffet that like sits over the little fire. And so she brought those so that the food would stay warm because it's kind of cold outside. Like it was 49, 50 yesterday at nighttime. I was wrapped in a blanket with like a jacket on, all bundled. But no, it was amazing. A swell time. We're like, we should do this more often. I'm going, yeah, but I'm not cooking this much more often. Like I'll cook like one dish. I'll cook the mac and cheese again, but I'm not cooking all this other stuff. But it was fun. I did actually enjoy cooking. It was quite nice. I felt very cool. They were like, why are the girls cooking and the boys not cooking? And I was like, because Robert doesn't know what he's doing. I don't trust Robert to cook mac and cheese. He tried to cook it for my family that one time, and it was just noodles. He forgot, like, the cheese. But I felt very cool because I was, like, the head chef. Anyway, let's see. That's pretty much it. I'm recording audiobook with Robert's cool microphone. And book 2, I'm going to release the date of, like, the release date for book 2, Into Flames and Shadows, on probably Wednesday. I'll get home Tuesday, and then I'll release it on Wednesday. I'll release when it's getting released, which means when I announce the release day is when the ARC readers will get to read. So if you're an ARC reader, you'll get to start reading it on Wednesday. Woohoo! It's a bit of a delay. I wanted it to be in December, and it's not going to be in December, but that's okay. Christmas is big in the book world, like for big people, so I didn't want to get overshadowed. Into shadows. Ooh, out of shadows. Anyway, so I've been working on the book and stuff. Robert's been working very hard at work. I think the winter is kind of like their big time because nobody does anything in the summer. But yeah, we're excited to come home. We're excited. Robert's excited to see the mountains. We're going to do some volunteer work. We're going to move into our house. We're going to go see the family members. Got a lot going on. A lot to do. And one of our friends is having a baby. And I'm obsessed. I can't wait. So lots of activities. Mom and I have a lot of crafting to do. A lot of crafting. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for now. Obviously, I'll see you guys when I'm home, and I can fill you in on all the nitty-gritty details. But yeah, that's us. And the next vlog will probably be after Christmas. So like January. You'll be getting one. You'll get one at like January 20 or December 28th, and then one after New Year's because I'm going to Egypt with my cousins and my uncle and Robert. So tune in a month for, in 27 days for your next vlog. Thanks for watching. See you at home. Bye. 6 degrees Celsius. Here goes Robert.
Oh my God.
I am. You've been 6 seconds. Instant regret. Do you have anything you want to say?
How long?
You've been 10 seconds. Okay, you've been 20 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. You're good.
Give me my towel.
Here.
We're good. Okay.
How do you feel?